Greetings metalheads and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George and today I'm back with a collection update. Was originally going to be an unboxing, but actually I didn't want to just be fighting through the packaging on camera. Decided to take a different stance on this one, and this is a fresh out of the box collection update. I've got a bumper order here from Hammerheart Records based in the Netherlands. It's the first order that I have placed with Hammerheart Records, but it had been one that was on the cards for quite some time, given the number of just awesome things on their web store, the very good prices as well, and the fact that they had some things that I've been searching for quite some time, some articles that I was really looking to pick up. An important gap-filling exercise in the collection. So, bumper order here. I'm going to go through in not too much detail, but just want to show off the articles which I picked up from all the way from the Netherlands. First up, this might seem like a very familiar looking album if you've been following the channel. This is one that I have literally just spoken about here as an album you absolutely need to hear. This is the debut album from 1990/1985. The material had been in existence or written years before the release. I'm not going to go into too much more detail about this album, but this is the self-titled Master album by Master, a vinyl version. And the really hilarious thing is, obviously just talked about this album, showing off the nice digipack double CD format that I have. I was anticipating this order was going to take longer to arrive, and actually this package arrived about 20 minutes after I'd finished recording that review. Absolutely typical. So hence why I'm not going to talk about this album too much more, other than to say it's a freaking masterpiece. And this is a vinyl reissue. I believe it's limited to about 500 copies. It says here on the little sticker that it is a clear red black splatter vinyl, and it is most certainly a legendary death metal debut, a total cult classic, cutthroat and aggressive death metal with thrash tendencies, which sums it up very succinctly, because that is exactly what it is. It is death thrash in my opinion, but it's just such a great album. Very interesting get up there from very young Master, Paul Speckman and company. Paul alongside Chris Mittelbrunn and Bill Schmidt, not quite sure pronunciation there, but want to show off the article more than anything. So obviously if you want to hear a little bit more about this fine album, then you can check out the review I've literally just done. But it is a nice looking splatter. It's very noisy. But what I like is that the colour scheme really does reflect the artwork on the front there. That kind of very simple, bold Master logo on a black background. It really does look the part. It's very eye-catching. Very eye-catching. Chock full of classics. Unknown Soldier, Pay to Die. They're great Black Sabbath cover of Children of the Grave, the self-titled Master track, got Terrorizer on there as well, The Truth. It's just a start to finish absolute masterpiece. As I say, not going to go into too much more depth and detail on that one, but I am going to stick with Master. So until now, I've only had the first two full-length albums from the band on CD. One being Master, the second one being On the Seventh Day God Created Master. I decided to take the leap and I have bought the rest of their full-length studio albums. I'm not entirely sure on all of these, if I've got the chronology right. I'm not sure about years of release, but I'm just showing off the articles. I've heard bits and pieces, tracks from these, some of their more recent stuff certainly on YouTube, but that's as much as I can really say. But I just want to show off the cool slipcase versions that we've got here. So these are all reissues, of course. I know this is the third album, Collection of Souls. I've definitely heard bits from this album online and was very impressed. I know that there's definitely lineup changes that have happened along the way. So we've got the third album, Collection of Souls there. We've then got the fourth album, Faith is in Season. Can't say I've heard much from this one, but yeah, nice slipcase again. These do look really good actually. And these were all about €7.99, €7.99. So that is an absolute bargain. We've got Let's Start a War. Again, nice slipcase CD there. This one, really interesting cover. The Spirit of the West. I have heard a few bits from this online, and it's definitely very Spirit of the West looking, shall we say. I like the get-up that Paul's got going on the front there. Very interesting. Nice slipcase again. I particularly like the sound of Pistols, Whiskey and Coyotes, the Spirit of the West. That is a cool one. We then got the, I can't even think what album this would be, but 4 More Years of Terror. Interesting stuff here. I've definitely heard some tracks from this one. Shoot to Kill definitely looks familiar. Yeah, awesome. Not a slipcase though, but that's fine. You know, still nice. Then we've got Slaves to Society with a censored artwork on the slipcase. I have seen the uncensored one. Guaranteed to upset some people of delicate sensibilities. But a classic album by all regards. Then we've got Human Machine, The Human Machine. Again, definitely heard bits from this one. Bit of a beast of an album. Awesome, nice slipcase there. So yeah, this really is straight out of the packaging. In fact, what you can't see is the packaging is strewn across my living room floor. So this is really fresh. But I just wanted to show off this package. You know, all this cool stuff that you could pick up from the web store. They all appeared to be available, readily available. I've got the new Elite here. That's a good cover. I like that. That's good. And I've definitely heard that title track before. They're just a really good band, really criminally underrated. And I will talk about Master more and the other bands in this collection as well. But like I say, this is just an initial show-off. Then we've got the Witch Hunt. Very cool. Great artwork there. Almost looks a bit Geiger. But that font on the back there, that looks all too familiar from too many other albums and too many other physical packages. The Witch Hunt, anyway, cool artwork, definitely. Then we get some more brilliant art. We've got an Epiphany of Hate. And I like the fact that it says here on the sticker, the Motorhead of death metal delivers a vicious old school death metal attack. Very much so. And Master really are, not just because they sound a little bit Motorhead, kind of speed metal at times, very rock and roll, but because they're really reliable and really consistent. You listen to the new stuff, the old stuff, there's definite continuity. You know, they haven't veered off in any crazy other different directions. Another slipcase, we've got Vindictive Miscreant. Now, I definitely have heard this. I think I've actually heard it in its entirety on YouTube. Great art. Soak that one up. I wonder if that's a Seagrave artwork. Not quite sure, but it certainly looks cool. Fantastic. So these are all going to be coming up on the channel at some point, no doubt, so stay tuned. But like I say, this is just showing off those albums. But we also have the most recent album in a very cool box format. So this says here, this is Saints Dispelled, and I have again checked some tracks from this online and was very impressed. It is a box set limited to 500 copies worldwide, digi CD with 2 bonus tracks and a patch and a poster. Awesome. Look at this. This is a big box. Okay, so just context. Standard dual case CD size. Box. Big. Like it. Don't know why I'm showing Vindictive Miscreant again. Cool artwork on Saints Dispelled as well. Yeah, I like that. Awesome. So I've got tons of Master goodies that I'm going to be working through here. Certainly I'm going to be blasting that vinyl copy of that absolutely essential, all-important debut as soon as possible. Mangled Dehumanization. What a beast. But one last article from Master. This is 40 Years and Killing. So this is a limited edition tour EP celebrating 40 years of Master. Very awesome artwork on the front here. I didn't actually realise at the time of placing this order that the 2 studio tracks, so we get 2 studio tracks on side A from 2023, and then we get side B is 4 live tracks from Italy 2011. These 2 studio tracks are actually the bonus tracks on Saints Dispelled. So, fine, doesn't matter. It's still awesome, still a nice thing to have. I'll show off this package. We've got alternative artwork on a cool insert. And we've got our lineup on the back there. Cool. And then, colour scheme for this one is a nice clear vinyl. Very cool. Like it. Plain and simple, but it's a very limited vinyl tour EP, so I thought, you know what, I'll snap that up. I'm a fan of, you know, highly sought after little rarities, so yeah, why not? I'll add that to the basket as well. So that's all the master goodies, but that wasn't all that I placed an order for. No, the master albums were certainly the main focus, but I did also pick up another couple of crucial releases as well. Just pop that back in there. Okay, so if you are familiar with Master and Paul Speckman's career and creative outlets, you'll probably be familiar with this one already. This is Death Strike. More specifically, this is the debut album, Fucking Death. Now, this is a very important album indeed. This is the first material that we get from, well, pre-Master, in fact. I know there was a lot of different stuff going on behind the scenes with Master, and Death Strike came into being in, I believe Master came into being in 1985, but before that, they existed as Death Strike. There was lots of label issues, material got shelved, things didn't come out when they should have, all kinds of stuff. But Death Strike is one of the very early incarnations, and this is seriously important, pioneering stuff. And this particular reissue, which was actually about $9.99, is a 2-disc. So you can see here is a 2-disc version, which includes bonus tracks of rehearsals. So we've got the Fucking Death, album on disc 1 with the rehearsals, and then disc 2 is Fucking Live. So it is actually a live album as well. So really chuffed to have this one. Very cool indeed. And of course, this is all that classic material from the unreleased album, from the self-titled Master album, and also the album released under the Speckman project name. The Truth, Mangled Dehumanization, Pay to Die, Re-Entry and Destruction. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely fantastic. So, essential stuff to delve into if you can. And then, of course, sticking with Speckman, the other really, really important band that we need to talk about, and just an absolute gem, is Abomination. So this is Paul Speckman's other band, thrash primarily with strong death vibes in there. It's essentially very similar to Master, good old-fashioned death thrash, but it is absolutely brilliant. So Abomination, this is the Complete Annihilation box set. So it is 3 individual digipacks in one box set. It includes the 2 full-length albums that we get from Abomination, the debut from self-titled from 1990, and the second album from 1991, Tragedy Strikes, as well as all of the demos as well. So it says here on the sticker, this is Complete Annihilation, brutal power thrash death metal, freaking great, complete discography, remastered, the important thing, why I ordered it, and repackaged. So in around, I think it was about 2011, 2012, I think it was, can't quite recall, Nuclear Blast, who put out these albums originally, repackaged as basically a bargain price, 2-disc, complete package, and that was cool. I've got that, listened to that a lot, but I think the sound quality is a little bit lacking on that. When I realised that this was coming out and it was a remaster, it was a no-brainer. So I was straight in there, and it's freaking great. I'm really looking forward to tearing into this. I will be talking about Abomination in more depth and detail very soon, because they are a band you need to hear if you love death and thrash metal. An excellent one. So I'm looking forward to tearing into that. Absolutely love it. And I couldn't resist picking up the vinyl versions. Yes, they've also got vinyl reissues of these 2 full-length albums. So up first we've got Abomination, the self-titled album, on an orange and black splatter. Brutal power thrash death metal classic remastered, featuring Paul Speckman of Master. This is really cool. So I'm definitely going to show this one up. I think we've got an insert in here. Just give you a second to absorb that awesome artwork. It's almost a little bit, kind of reminds you of the Green Goblin from the Spider-Man series, a little bit. Just a bit. Line-up shot on the back. So we've got Paul alongside Aaron on drums and Dean on guitars. Right, I'm trying to get that insert out. Here we are. So we've got a cool lyrics and bits and bobs insert. But the main thing is, of course, this very, very, very glorious, colourful vinyl. Look at that. It's really cool. So it's orange and black. A little bit of a kind of Halloween looking vibe here. Pumpkin colours, but actually against the light here, it almost looks red. So it's really cool. Really nice package there. Very nice. I am absolutely going to be tearing into this album as soon as I can. It's full of great classic thrashing death material here. Tracks like The Choice. Tracks like the absolutely just brilliant Reformation. Redeem, Deny. Absolutely love that one. Possession as well. Not to neglect Suicidal Dreams. Victim of the Future, Tunnel of Damnation, Impending Doom. It's just, this is a classic album. This is an essential album that absolutely every metalhead needs to hear and form their own opinion, of course. So that was the debut, but we've also got the heavier, more extreme Tragedy Strikes album. This is the second album from 1991, and yep, 1991, I believe. So there's our lineup. Well, front cover, artwork, and then our back cover there. I think I prefer the artwork from the debut. There it is. Insert side 1, side 2. Very cool. The main piece is, of course, this glorious transparent orange vinyl. I think I do prefer the splatter that we get for the self-titled album. Definitely. But both look really, really cool. Love it. And this is an absolute killer album. Blood for Oil is an absolute classic. The whole album is just sublime, but Pull the Plug, We Will Bleed, Industrial Sickness, Soldier, Kill or Be Killed, Oppression, start to finish. It's like less than 40 minutes of just brilliant death thrash. Freaking love it. Absolute beast of an album. So I'll definitely be tearing into that one as well. And the very last article from this order, couldn't neglect this one. I've got way too many t-shirts for my own good. We've got a logo Abomination shirt. So this has that awesome logo there. Really cool. It reminds me of sort of Hellhammer, their logo a little bit. So we've just got a nice simple logo on the front, and then we've got Curses of the Deadly Sin on the back there, which I believe, if I'm not much mistaken, Curses of the Deadly Sin was a demo comp that was released however many years ago, way back when. So a nice little touch there, indeed. So there we have it, just a rundown of my latest order, debut order, but latest order, an awesome assortment of stuff from Hammerheart Records. I'll pop a link in the description, so do head over if you're looking to fill your collection up with awesome Master, Abomination or Death Strike releases, and tons of other stuff as well. They've got no shortage of awesome albums on their store. I will absolutely be talking about this legendary band in a lot more depth and detail soon. But you can, of course, check out the Master Albums You Need to Hear review, which I've just done, talking a little bit more about the debut, self-titled one. I'll also definitely be talking about Abomination in the near future. Got plans for that, certainly. So, my friends, what are your thoughts and opinions on Master, Death Strike, Abomination, the legendary Paul Speckman? What are your thoughts on these bands, these albums? Let me know. Very interested to hear thoughts and opinions of others, as always. But thanks for watching this collection update. Do feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Support is very much appreciated, as always. Check back soon for more reviews and recommendations of all the good heavy things. Until next time, listen to Master and stay freaking heavy.